Go! What's going on, guys? Bearded Reg here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at my SIG 716i chambered in 308. So I've had this gun for almost a year now, and I've been playing with it, and it's given me some headaches along the way. But I think I finally got it tuned in, so I wanted to bring you guys out and do a quick video on it, show you guys what I got on it, how I got it built out, and do a little bit of an accuracy test. So I'm going to throw a mag in it real quick, just some 147s. Right here, I'm going to shoot some steel out here at 100 yards, take you guys down, show you the groups on the steel from some 147 grains. I'm not going to do super precise shots. I'm just going to try to do some quick shots through this thing. But then we're going to go down range. I'll show you guys that group, and we'll talk about the gun, kind of what I got on it. So let's get loaded up and let's get to shooting. So guys, this is just standard 147 grain M80 ball, 308, or 7.62 by 5.1, I should say. So we're going to take a shot at some steel at 100 yards. I got a Vortex 1-8 on here, Strike Eagle. So let's see what this can do. All right, guys, so we're going to go down range real quick, take a look at those shots. Again, those are some pretty quick shots. I pulled one. I'm aiming for a head on an IDPA style target. So I pulled one. That was my fault. But let's go down and take a look at the group, and we'll talk about the gun. All right, guys, so there's my group at 100 yards. This is 101 yards from the shooting house that I was just in. And you guys saw I wasn't taking a lot of time, good breathing, anything like that on firing these rounds. It's pretty much as soon as that reticle got back on target, I pulled the trigger. Now, I did pull one. That was my fault. I guys got too excited on it, but I pulled it over the right shoulder here. But other than that, I mean, that's the size of my fist, covers that up. Obviously, the paint chips, we have impact here, 2 impacts here, and an impact there. Like I said, this is just 147 grain ball, so that's not terrible out of this gun. This is a 16-inch barrel in this gun, so this isn't an 18-inch or 20-inch gun. This is more of a DMR build, so I haven't really messed with 308 before, and especially 308 gas gun. So this is the first 308 gas gun I've ever ran, and I like it. It's good. I have an LMT, and I've run that, and it's pretty sweet too. I like both of the guns really well, but something about the SIG I just like. I think it's because my first one I got. But when I initially bought this gun, I was going to make it more into a fighting rifle, something similar to an AR, throw an EOTech, stuff like that on it. But after doing some drills with it and running it around, it's a heavy gun. I mean, it's not super light and it's not super heavy, but it's not an AR-15 by any stretch of the means. So I decided to make it into a DMR. So I threw a little Strike Eagle Vortex 1-8 on there. I think it's perfect for this gun. It fits it well, and the kind of ranges I'm shooting at, it's going to do everything I need it to do. I have the mod light on there, so I kept that on there just because when I was running this as kind of like a fighting rifle, obviously you need light on a fighting rifle, but I left it on there because these mod lights, I got the spot heads on them. They're super bright, up to about like 400 yards to clearly identify targets. So I figured for what I'm going to use this gun for, it's going to do what I need to do. Troy backup iron sights. Like you guys, a lot of my guns, these have tritium in them, so these glow. Not that I really need that on this gun, but I decided to leave them on there. Magpul bipod. So Magpul bipods are neat. They're really inexpensive, and so far they're really good quality. And it's really light on this gun, so I didn't want a lot of weight on the end of the gun because the flashlight and the bipod, if it was to get a full metal bipod like a Harris or something, I didn't want a whole lot of weight, so I decided to throw that Magpul on there. Plus, it was like 130 bucks. Why not? Trigger in it right now is a standard trigger. I am going to get a Geisley for this because I'm switching over to Geisley triggers because they are phenomenal. But I'm going to get a Geisley in this. I do have the anti-walk pins just because why not? Other than that, the BCM stock, so it does come with the Magpul stock. I'm not a big fan of the Magpul stock. It looked kind of small and didn't really fit the gun. So I threw that on there, K2 grip, like always. Now, this gun does have ambidextrous mag release, which is super cool. So if that's something you're into, then great. It also has the extended bolt release on there. So that's kind of sweet as well. Other than that, it's a great little gun. M-lock rails, 16-inch barrel, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's the tri-lug, or the 3-prong flash hider. It does a pretty good job at mitigating flash. It's not great, but it works. I do have a suppressor coming for this, so I'm probably going to throw it on there and see what it does. But, you know, whenever the ATF decides to get off their butt and do some paperwork, then I'll get that suppressor in. Other than that, the only big change that I recommend if you get one of these that you need to get very first thing is an extended charging handle. So the charging handles that come with these are the cheap, crappy, real tiny little standard mil-spec charging handles, and they're junk. So it's a big bolt that you have to pull back and charge and stuff with this rifle. So getting that extended charging handle, I highly recommend, but be warned, I didn't know this, and I learned this the hard way. SIG is proprietary. So AR-10s, if you don't know, which I didn't know, there's not a standard AR-10 out there. So everybody does their AR-10s a little bit different. So you can't just throw on an AR, like I couldn't throw this upper on like a PSA low or anything like that. Or name your brand of lower 308. They don't make them common across the board like they do AR-15s. So with that, I bought a Radian charging handle for this when I first bought the gun. So I threw it in there, you know, let the bolt go home and tried to charge the rifle, and it jammed it up. So after beating it and getting it out of there and figuring that out, I learned that SIG's charging handle, where the charging handle rides, is proprietary size or some BS. So there's really only two options out there that I have found that are reputable companies. And that is SIG makes one, but SIG pissed me off at that point, and I wasn't going to give them $60 for their extended charging handle. And then Phase 5. So I got the Phase 5 in here, and I love it. It runs perfect. It's nice and bulky. It's big on either side. It's ambidextrous. It's a lot to grab onto, a lot of real estate to move that big, heavy bolt back and forth. So if you're going to get the SIG 716i, make sure you either get the SIG extended charging handle or the Phase 5. I recommend the Phase 5 just because, come on, SIG, really? Anyway, that's the gun, guys. We're going to go back to the shoot house, and I'm going to shoot some of that AMAX through it. We're going to try to do some really tight groups over here, well, as tight as I can get, on this 101-yard target on these shooting C's over here. So I'm not a great shot, but I'm going to do my best for you guys, and I'm going to show you guys my results out of it. We might also try to do a group with the rounds that are in this, just to kind of compare. So let's get back to the shoot house. I'm starting to sweat because it's really humid out here in Tennessee. So let's get out to the shoot house. Let's see what kind of groups we can get. All right, guys, so we're back in the shoot house. And like I said, we're going to take shots with this 147 grain at 101 yards here, just to kind of get a baseline group. Disclaimer, I'm not a great shot, so the group's probably going to be terrible. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen this tripod. This is a Bog Death Grip tripod. I love this thing. If you guys have any kind of outdoor range you go to or property that you can shoot on and you sight in your own guns, stuff like that, I highly recommend one of these. Even for hunting, they're really good for hunting. That's kind of the primary use. But this thing is super sweet. I highly recommend one. But enough talking. Let's take a few shots. This is just standard mil-spec ball, 147 grain, 308 or 7.62 by 51 ammo. So enough talking. Let's get to shooting. Because that group down there, it's not super great. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We'll see it here in a second. But it's not great. So we're going to do another one just to kind of see if I can tighten up a little bit with this stuff. But that's kind of what I've been running into with this. The ball out of this, it's not precise stuff anyway. But we'll do another group, just what's left in the mag, at another target, a completely different one, because I'm aiming center of these big shooting C's. So let's see what we can get. And then we'll switch over to the AMAX. So the group actually opened up a little bit than what the first group was. But let's load in some AMAX and let's see what that does. So guys, this AMAX stuff is, you guys can see that. 308 168 grain AMAX bullet loaded by Hornady. It's their Hornady Black. The groups I shot with it the other day and the pictures I posted on Instagram of the groups I shot at steel and at paper, pretty decent. They're the best groups I've gotten out of it so far, out of this gun. So, all right, different target. Let's see what we can do with it. that group tightened up substantially more than the last one. We're going to load 6 more and do one more group just to see. As you guys can tell, I'm not trying to be super precise with this. Obviously, what I'm doing, I can be a lot more accurate than what I'm trying to be. But it's hot. I kind of just want to give you guys a quick review of it, some quick shots downrange to kind of show you what accuracy you can expect out of a couple of these different bullets. So enough talking. Let's fire these 6 more. All right, guys, so you can see behind me, these are the groups I just shot. So we'll start over here. My very first group I shot with, that was with a 147 grain. That was this one right here. As you can see, it's a really big group, pretty big spread on it. That little flyer, that was 100% me, which all of these were me, but you know, I suck anyway. But just in general, this is my point of aim. So, and that's kind of the group I saw. Again, my hand can cover that up though. But anyway, so this is the second group, same ammo. Still pretty good spread on it. You know, that was what was left in the mag, so I didn't have 6 shots in there, I only had 5. But again, that's still, my hand can still cover that up. Not great. That's just the NATO stuff, like I said, the Lucky Gunner stuff. I don't even know what brand it was. So moving over here, this was my first group at 101 yards with the AMAX. This is the Hornady 168 grain AMAX stuff. So as you can see, the group tightened up considerably more. I could probably get a little bit better accuracy out of it than what I currently did here. But as you guys saw, I was kind of pumping it pretty quickly. And this is the second group I got. It still tightened up just a little bit more. But I mean, that's well within a fist size right there, covering that up. But my gun really likes the Hornady stuff. I did a lot of research, and a lot of guys out there were saying the Hornady AMAX 168 grains, their guns loved, their SIG 716Is. I've had a really hard time finding ammo that can group really well, which, like I said at the beginning, part of me thinks that was the scope mount I was using. But now that I switched to that Vortex mount, it's spot on. It's holding a good 0. But those are my groups, guys. You know, I'm not the greatest shot in the world. So with a little bit more practice behind this gun, I could probably get these a lot tighter. You know, a little bit better shooting stance, stuff like that. But I'm not going to hide anything from you guys. I'm here to be honest. I'm here to review. And, you know, I suck, and there's the proof. But guys, the SIG 716I is a great little gun if you're looking at a 308 gas gun. The LMT I've shot, the accuracy is very similar to this gun, at least comparable with the ammo I've been shooting out of them. So to save a couple $100 from an LMT or anything like that, I would go with the SIG. I like it. The charging handle is my biggest grief with it. I don't know why SIG constantly does this proprietary BS stuff with their guns, but I like it. It's a really good gun. Just if you're going to get one, get a Phase 5 charging handle. It's a great charging handle, and you're not going to run into the mess that I ran into. Because it's really heartbreaking when you're having to beat a bolt open on a gun you just bought. But anyway, great gun. I really like it. The accuracy's decent with it. I mean, that's a dead deer at 100 yards. I mean, heck, even at 200 yards, I would feel comfortable taking a shot with this gun. Which this gun I kind of built just for a 300-400 yard gun with a little more punch power than an AR would have. So I'm not taking this out to 500-600 yards. It could probably do it with somebody better behind the trigger. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that are going to go, man, those groups are trash. Or, you know, I can get, you know, sub them away with it. Great. I mean, that's awesome. I'm going to keep practicing and keep shooting, and hopefully I can get to that one day. But that's where I'm at right now with this kind of gun. First 308 gas gun. I don't know what to expect. So we're going to keep playing with it, keep shooting it, hopefully get better at it. But guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the subs. I really appreciate all the support. You guys have been awesome. The community that's been, you know, surrounding this channel has been phenomenal. A lot of good stuff going on in the comments. I really appreciate all the comments you guys leave. I do read all of them, and I really appreciate the feedback. You guys have given me some good tips and stuff like that. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go check me out on Instagram, The Bearded Wretch. I post stuff of life around the farm, stuff like that, some guns and stuff that I'm working on, tease it. Like this one I teased on Instagram with the first groups I shot out of it, and they were a little bit better than this. But that's kind of where I was at. I was on camera, so maybe I got nervous. I don't know. But guys, I really appreciate the likes. Thanks for all the subs. I am giving away the Streamlight TLR1 pistol light at 500 subscribers, so we're halfway there. I will be announcing that on Instagram as well. So once we hit 500 subscribers, same thing. I'll give it 30 days. I'll pick a winner, and I'll announce it on Instagram. Because Preston Parker won the trauma kit last time. So Preston, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. So guys, I really appreciate it again. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the subs. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you have a SIG 716I, what kind of groups you're getting out of it, or if I should change something on it to make it cooler, or more tactical or whatever, let me know, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Stay strapped, and I'll see you at the range. You know, it wouldn't be a Bearded Wretch video without a mag dump.